Hey, this is Christopher, and welcome to this new video. Today I'm gonna show you something very nice using Home Assistant and a few shell commands and yeah, nothing else really. So what I have built is that, well, first I have to tell you that I have a media server running on my computer, my desktop computer at home, which is it's a Windows PC with an external hard drive where I have some of my board media like DVDs and also some old CDs and stuff like that. And well, it's working pretty nice, and when I'm home I run this off or with the program Plex. It's all nice and easy, but let's say I'm out and about and I want to access this media. Well, I don't want to run my computer, which is, well, it's not a beast, I would say, but it uses power and energy, and I don't want to waste that power in the time I'm not using it. So I wanted to come up with a solution to this. First of all, I wanted to be able to start the computer when I'm away, and also I wanted to be able to shut it down. I think the most unknown or hardest part was to make it turn on, because you can always use something like TeamViewer to access it, to shut it down. Of course I have a more sophisticated solution to this, but that wasn't really a problem at the start. So after a few Google searches, what I came to was this Wake on LAN, I don't know, program, CLI program, which is something you install, and then you can run a little command, and then the command makes the computer turn on. I would recommend you to look it up because it requires some setup. You have to go in, or sometimes you have to go into your BIOS and then allow Wake on LAN or Magic Packet command something, and it depends on your BIOS and such. But if you can enable that, you can then let it wake on LAN. Anyway, I'm gonna explain more of this later in this video. I'm just gonna start with the top level part of the whole thing. What I have is this media bar or tab up here. I've separated some of my media into this. And what I have here is Plex, desktop PC, I just call that, and then I have turn on desktop PC, and this is an input boolean which I've just in my groups. I don't know if you need to, I could show you, but otherwise look at my earlier video where I show groups, and then you can probably get a picture. Otherwise, let me know and I'll make a video separate about that. Anyway, I have this input boolean, this group here, and I also have a presence detection, which at the moment it just says home and not home because that's the default. I want to change it with a template to show, you know, on or off. But what this does is run an nmap scan on the network to see if this IP is on or this if it get a response from this PC. If it does, it says home, or later on I wanted to make it say on, but that's what it. So I can, if I'm not home, I can see if the computer's on or off. I can also see it on this one, but maybe something happens and I have to restart the Home Assistant server or something like that. Then this input boolean will be reset and I can't really see the status from this. So this, I can always see the status. Anyway, when I press this, my computer will turn on and the input boolean goes to the right. I'm not gonna do it now, but you know, it works. And when I press this, what I have done is I have created an automation that checks to see if this input boolean has changed to on, and if it does, this is the automation. And you can see the trigger is if state changes of input boolean turn on desktop. I have just created an input boolean called this, and it changes to on, then call this, and this is the shell command to turn on the computer. And I have created the shell command to turn on desktop, which uses this wake on LAN, and the IP is this, and then you just put the MAC address of the computer in here. You can get that through various ways, through your router or through, you know, the CMD or anything like that. Normally you would be able to just put the IP, local IP of the computer you're accessing, but somehow I had problems with this. I don't know, but the problem was that whenever, well, maybe I have shut down the computer and then maybe waited 20 minutes, and I would call the wake on LAN command, it would work, no problems. But let's say I turn off the computer and I go somewhere else, and I don't turn on the computer for, I don't know, maybe it's less than this, but 4 hours, or at least for 4 hours, 8 hours, maybe even more. It wouldn't turn on, and I think it had something to do with, I'm not really sure, because maybe the router did something. I guess it's the router's fault. Anyway, what I did instead is I used this IP address, and what it does is that it broadcasts to all IPs, and if anyone responds to this wake on LAN command or magic packet, it will turn on, you know. So if you have more computers with wake on LAN, I'm not it would probably cause some problems, because it would turn on all of them. No, it wouldn't actually, because it directs to the MAC address, so no problems actually. So never mind. Anyway, this is the command wake on LAN, the IP, local IP address, and also you could maybe port forward your IP and call this from anywhere, but that also caused me some problems. And it doesn't really matter if you're using your Raspberry Pi, it would be on the local network anyway, so just use the local one. It makes it easier also, you don't have to port forward and fiddle with those settings. And then you put your MAC address. I've just deleted my MAC address just for the video. Anyway, on here we also have, you know, you can press it back to the left position again, to the off position. And what that does is call another automation. Let me just see, automation media, turn off desktop. And it looks for state also to check if it goes from on to off, and if it does, call a new shell command. And that shell command is this one below here, and that's using something I looked up online. I'm not really sure if well, what it is really, but it's something Linux has, and it works with Windows computers as well. So, well, if you call this, it shut down the Windows computer. It works, and here you have to put the precise IP because in this state, computer's already on, so there's no problems. What I would recommend is also to reserve this IP, or you know, the IP it's using, to the computer, so it doesn't change when the computer connects. This way you don't have any problems with this not working. You can look it up on Google, of course, but on most routers it's something like DCHP or something like that, reserve, or you know, something like that. It really depends on the router, so it's hard to give any specific guidance on this matter. You should probably look it up. And then your user, and then you just type your username, and this sign here, and then your password to the computer. Of course, this is maybe not the best idea to hard code or hard type or what you call your password in here, but my computer doesn't have really that much stuff, and I don't use it for banking and stuff like that. I just use it for the server and some gaming, so it doesn't really matter that much for me. But maybe you could use something. I don't know if you actually use anything. I think anything has to be at. Sorry about that. I think anything have to be at the in a file some way. So yeah, that's a bit, security wise not that good, but it works really good. So and when this shell command runs, it turns the computer off. And what is good about this is that it turns it off safe way or the natural way. So just shut it down like that. Like if you had something like a wireless plug or something like that, which you could use in Home Assistant to turn off the computer, but it will shut down forcefully, and that isn't the best. So I find this the best solution. And this way I can access. I have port forwarded my Home Assistant user interface or website, so I can access it outside of my network. And this way I can access my computer. I can turn it on and off from anywhere, which is really nice. I'm also gonna make a little video about this you see here, because this is not really the normal browser. It's kind of a native version of, well, it is the browser inside, but it's a native version of Home Assistant in a way that it has its own program icon down here, and it has its own window, which is quite nice. I rather like that, because then I can make sure it turns on. I turn on the program every time my computer starts, and I know where to go to access Home Assistant. So I hope you like this video, and please subscribe and like and whatever you do on YouTube, and also press that bell icon to get all my updates. I have just recently got my new microphone and headset stuff, so I hope the sound is better, my voice is better, more clear, and this also means that I'm gonna make more videos more regularly, because my first video was with not so good mic, and also so I didn't want to make any more videos before I got my mic, so that is why there have been a break between now and my first video. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day, evening, night, whatever, and see you in the next one. Bye.